Alright, so what's going on, guys? My name's Chopper, and welcome everybody to today's video. Ladies and gentlemen, just very recently, PUBG has just given us a roadmap of all the content that they're going to be releasing in the next upcoming months. And I can without a doubt say this is the biggest patch that we've had in a very, very long time. There's a ton of new stuff and a ton of new information that you guys are going to want to know about. So if you guys enjoy the video, I would really appreciate to leave a like rating. Helps out the video, helps out the channel. Thank you so much. And of course, make sure to subscribe if you are brand new on here so you don't miss any more PUBG content like this or anything else that I do in the future. And so without further ado, guys, let's check out all the news that PUBG has just given us today. So the first thing I want to go over today is confirming a leak that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. If you've been paying attention to the videos, you may have heard about a certain BRDM vehicle that was supposed to be coming to the game. And the idea for this is that this is a vehicle that can travel inside of water and also on land just as seamlessly as one another. Now, it's evident from what we are able to suggest that this is going to be the new flare gun airdrop reward instead of the armored UAZ. And it looks like that's exactly what's happening. And also, it's no longer just a leak. PUBG in this official update has shown off this vehicle, and we can see right here that it can travel on the land, it can travel in water. It doesn't look to be overpowered, as it does have a couple of weak points, and I think that this is going to be implemented really well if you ask me. And of course, I think that this should be the reward for the flare gun airdrop if you get it outside of the zone, but I don't want them to do away with the armored UAZ entirely because I feel like this is content that they developed, and I don't want them to throw it away because some people still really enjoy this, they get a use out of it, and I just don't think it should be removed from the game. So I hope it gets implemented in whatever way they see fit, but hopefully it does not go away completely. And also about the BRDM is that it's important to consider that maybe the effects of this or what it is capable of is a hint at what we can be expecting as far as maps go in the future and the way that maps are going to be laid out. I don't really know, but this is the first time that we've seen a vehicle that can travel in land and water and easily probably is the most powerful vehicle at this point. But it looks unbelievably fun to play with, and I can't wait to see it in game. But now, moving on to our next thing we got going on. So PUBG is adding a brand new movement mechanic into this game, and I'm genuinely surprised about what it is. Now, this is going to be similar to the vaulting, but it's going to be used for different purposes. It's more of a ledge grab, and I'll let you guys see exactly what this looks like. They show it off right here. It's essentially what the vault is capable of doing outside of windows, but you want to use the ledge grab for, jumping from building to building, getting on rooftops, and maneuvering to positions that you were before no longer able to, or just required you to jump and maneuver in ways that were extremely difficult. And so I guess what they're trying to do is make that easier. Now, the reason why this is so game-changing, or it's going to be game-changing, is the fact that now players are going to be in positions that they never were before. It's going to be extremely different because in PUBG, we're not really used to having a lot of mobile, especially vertical movement, but it looks like that's exactly what they're going for. They want players to be a bit more on their feet and to be able to travel around a little bit easier. And as far as being a mechanic in this game, we don't know exactly how it works yet, how fast you can ledge grab, at what speeds can you not do it, at what heights can you not do it. It's not entirely clear, and I think it's something that we're going to have to figure out as we play, but it is certainly a brand new game mechanic, and this is just as big as when vaulting hit the game. This was over a year ago, and so this has been the biggest change to the actual player movement since then. So this is absolutely something to keep your eye on and prepare for, guys, because this is going to fundamentally change the way that you play PUBG and how other players run the game as well. So I'm hopeful that this change is going to be done really well and tastefully, and I'm sure it will, and I can't wait to try it out in game. Now, another feature that's coming to the game very soon that actually wasn't mentioned inside of this dev letter, but will likely be hitting the game at some point, probably around where the BRDM was, as it was leaked around that time as well, is going to be a radio system. Now, a lot of you guys in the comments when I first made a video talking about that were basically saying that this is identical to what PUBG Mobile has, and it's pretty close. All of the basic functions are there from the one that PUBG Mobile has, but it's also going to have a little bit more to it. I think there's going to be some commands that aren't necessarily in there, but I don't know exactly. I don't think this is going to be a super drastically game-changing thing, similar like the ledge grab or the BRDM is going to change the game. This is going to be something that's going to help you communicate with squads that maybe don't have mics or people that, you're just not talking to a little bit better, other teammates. As far as I'm aware, this will be the first time that your character will have an in-game voice that isn't just the sound when you're being shot at, and so I think you can actually speak with this radio system from what we can tell right now, but this is a leak currently, and we'll have to wait until they either make an official statement or we see it in the game. What I don't understand, though, is that it kind of seems like this radio system makes their tactical map marker system that they just developed, useless, because it's the same thing, just really going to be more effective. The tactical map marker, I think, is maybe one of the pointless things that they've ever developed, and I'm not trying to be mean with that. It's just one of those things. It's not super intuitive, and players generally aren't using it. The fundamental reason is that you have to go so far out of your way to mark something that you could easily say with words or communicate in other ways. So it needs some work, but it could be a very good idea. And hopefully, maybe this combined with the radio system, it can be a nice way for communicating with other people. Now, moving on though, PUBG dropped an absolute bombshell on us with this update. This is probably the biggest thing that we have seen in forever. The Erangel Remaster is playable this weekend on the test server. And not only that, ladies and gentlemen, not only that, but they showed off a bunch of images of what this looks like as well. And they talk about it quite a bit, and they show off a lot. And so there's a ton to unpack here. Now, with Erangel Remastered, we know about this from, a while ago. We knew this was coming. This was no surprise. But what was a surprise to us is that we didn't know exactly what a full remastered entailed. Was it new compounds? Was it new weapons? Was it a graphical overhaul? And it looks like it's all of the above. I think it has an absolute ton of features that are just going to be ready for players to test. And that's exactly what this is going to be on the test server. This is not by any means the final iteration of Arendelle Remastered. Whatever their first version is that they want to test with us this weekend is going to be our first glimpse into what it's going to be. And then how it changes from there is going to rely a lot on player feedback. And it looks like everything we said in the past is at least somewhat correct about this. We are getting a graphical overhaul for this map. We are getting new weapons, it seems, and it looks like the BRDM vehicle is going to be coming with Arendelle Remastered, which will likely, again, be the flare drop reward. If you put the pieces together about the two things, the biggest thing that they are developing, Arendelle Remastered, and then the ledge grab mechanic, it seems that these two things are meant to be played in unison, or they go hand in hand, right? There's probably a lot of new places in Arendelle that are meant to be climbed up from a ledge grab or can only be accessed via that way. So from what I would tell you before playing it, I think that their idea for Arendelle Remastered, the way that it should be played generally, is much more mobile than the first one. It seems like players are going to be encouraged to move around a lot more, and that's something that I really appreciate because, recently it seems like everybody's been playing so safe and very campy, and I don't know, it does make the game less fun, just the way that some people play it, and hopefully this will change that. But when it comes to when you can get your hands on Arendelle Remastered, it's going to be coming up a lot sooner than we think, and it's this weekend on the test server. I don't know how long it's going to be around for. They haven't exactly mentioned that. I'd imagine maybe a couple of days so they can get the information that they need to go and make tweaks about it. But again, as I said, if you do end up trying out Arendelle Remastered or just watching it for yourself, to keep in mind that this is not going to be officially the final build of what we're going to see when it does come to live servers. They're probably going to push through a couple different versions of this remaster and then see, whatever ends up one being the best. And they also mentioned in this developer update that they're going to be continuing to mess with weapon balancing and tuning and all that sort of stuff. So you can imagine that they're going to be changing the way weapons run, and also you can assume that they're probably going to be adding some new guns, which is always really exciting. They didn't mention anything about what specific guns will be coming, but we can probably make that assumption. And now finally, guys, for the last thing that they mentioned in this update is going to be their upcoming content for their continued seasons. Now here's where I'm going to be a little bit critical about this update. All of the stuff before that I mentioned in this video I think is an absolutely amazing move, and I can't wait for all the stuff to come to the game. It's all positive as far as I'm concerned besides this. So they're going to talk about how they're expanding the weapon mastery system. If you know what this is, this was basically the system in the menu that allows you to track your stats with weapons. You get weapon charms, you rank up progression, unlock different charms and cosmetics for your guns, and then also besides from that, in like the season pass, you can do challenges in order to unlock more player cosmetics. And while I think this stuff is inherently good, give players something to do and chase after, I feel like if a significant amount of development time is being put towards these cosmetics and like these challenges for players, I almost would like to see that development time put towards like actual, in-game mechanics and making the experience of PUBG, the physical gameplay, as polished and as smooth and as fun as possible. The thing for me is that the bread and butter of PUBG, at least in my opinion, that got players so addicted was just the raw gameplay. It wasn't the cosmetic rewards that people were getting that kept them addicted. It wasn't the chase and the grind to get weapon charms that were keeping players interested in this game. It was the drive to get better at this. And, some people were grinding leaderboards. Some people like to just pub stomp, and some people like to play competitive. Whatever your thing is, I believe it's the gameplay that keeps players engaged in that, and that's where I believe the focus should be. And believe me, they are doing that with Arendelle Remastered. They are doing that with the ledge grab, the BRDM vehicle. All the stuff before this was absolutely great, but I feel like they're wasting maybe a little bit of their time developing like these cosmetics that I really don't think too many people are bothered about. I'm certainly not. Like weapon charms, they're nice bonuses and stuff to track your progress with, but they're not the core reason or the primary primary purpose of me playing PUBG. A good example of this is kind of like how they added the vehicle repair kit and the instant revive kit to custom games, and I assume this is coming to public matches whenever the armor and helmet repair kits get added, but if for whatever reason they don't, I just don't understand why they would take the time to develop something like this and only put it in custom games, which a very, very, very small fraction of the player base even uses. But I'm hopeful and I'm optimistic that PUBG knows what they're doing with these updates, and they're going to be rolling out this content as the months go on. But we have a lot to look forward to, and not everything that they're developing was mentioned in this letter. This is just like a sort of overview of what they wanted to give. So there's going to be some stuff that's, you know, they still got some tricks up their sleeve and things that they have not revealed that we're going to have to look out for. But anyways, guys, I hope you did enjoy the video today. If you did, make sure to leave a like, rating, subscribe if you are brand new so you don't miss any more content, as I'd appreciate that a lot. And I will see you all on the next live stream or the next video. Take it easy, guys, and peace out.